Yeah, why not? We're live. We're live. Welcome to Real United Talk. I'm Rodney Cyrus. He's Mad Marcus. And there's the big man, Ross. We're all in the house. It's like church, but a little bit later and a lot more foul language. Wagwan, as they say. Wagwan. Who's that? Katie? Katie Beds.
That's my daughter. She's out in the kitchen.
Getting the figures up. I love it. Everyone's in. Right. There is a lot to talk about. Players coming back. Players still linked, even though they're meant to be signed, sealed and delivered. And I think Manchester United are in the box seat for certain players, but I'd say playing silly buggers with other players. For the Smalling one, who's coming back, he's been on loan at Roma. He's done quite well, and apparently United wanting to come back so that he doesn't play any more football or extend in terms of Roma because they're still in the Europa League. And I think from Manchester United's point of view, I know that a lot of people will say, "Oh, he's our player. We can bring him back." I think if you don't want him, just let him go. I think you act like a big club. You've got money to splash on other players, or so you say. You don't want to pay the amount that Dortmund want for Sancho, but you're being silly about Smalling coming back because you don't want him to go and play for another club, but you don't want to sell him. So, for me that doesn't make any sense at all.
I disagree, mate. I completely disagree with that. Sorry to start off on a confrontational note straight away, but to be honest, like we get messed around by every club we ever do a transfer dealing for, in the sense that they put the price on them that they're probably worth, and they do not budge. And we've always budged on when we're selling players, and we undervalue, undersell. And at this point in time, it's strange because of this lockdown situation. When are you ever selling a player come end of the season when they're still in a trophy tournament that you're in? So United are looking at it from a standpoint going, you want him, you need him for the Europa League. This is how much we value him. Pay it. If you don't want him, because we could turn around to Smalling and say they obviously don't want you, mate. They don't want to pay the money. If they want him that bad, pay the money. Because I saw a rumor, don't know how true this is, that there's other clubs in Italy that are willing to step in, and we're talking Juventus's, Inter Milan's. So Roma are not the only ones in for Chris Smalling. I don't see why they should get him for cut price when he's been one of their most outstanding players. And I'd say the same for Sanchez. He hasn't been outstanding by any means, but he has a value. Pay it into Milan or lose him.
What do you think, Marcus?
Mate, I'm going to back up Ross there. I'm getting sick and tired of United bending over all the time. You go back to the players that went from the Van Gaal era for Pina. And they were good players, good all-round players, goal scorers, and they went for fuck all, basically, just to get rid of them, just to get them off the books. I think it's high time now that United need to put their foot down and do what Ross said. Stand your ground. We want such and such. That's how much you're paying. Because if Dortmund can do it, right, and they're not the powerhouse that United are, they're digging their heels in, bad players, whether they go to Bayern Munich, whether they come to the Premier League, wherever. They have a price, same as Ajax. They set a price. That's it. That's the price you pay, pandemic or not. Obviously there is going to be room for a bit of manoeuvrability about the price. You're not talking like an extra fucking 30, 40, 50 million for it.
Yeah. Do you know what it is? It's not. What you said, I totally get. In terms of United being messed about, but I just think because this saga with Jadon Sancho has been played for so many months about the valuation, what Dortmund want, United saying that they're not going to match it. Then there's leaks in the press that they've agreed a fee for 60 million, but then there are add-ons. His valuation is like 100 million. That's the valuation. Dortmund are a selling club. What Dortmund have is a very good scouting team, which United don't have, and they have a very good history of finding the best young talent and nurturing them to a position where they can sell them. United don't necessarily sell their young talent. What they have a very good history of is keeping players beyond their sell-by date and paying them extortionate amounts of money when they don't want them. You've only got to look at Alexis Sanchez. You've got to look at Ashley Young. I mean, where the hell is I can't even think of his name. It's escaping me now. The left back from Argentina. Can't even think. It's escaped me. He's meant to have been gone, or he's gone on loan, but he's on loan. He's not been sold. You know, all of these players. Jones, United want to throw money around as a big boy and say that we are the team that can spend. We want to match Man City. We want to do all those things. But then they do stupid things in terms of the transfer market where they keep players on that have gone past their sell-by date. And then when they actually get players to go out on loan, instead of saying, we're going to cut our ties with you, we're going to sell you, they want to play silly buggers again. The likelihood is that they don't sell him, Smalling, they keep him, and then when the new season starts, they send him out on loan again, which means they're paying more of his wages. And he's got 2 more years. 2 more years. Man United need more goals to challenge in terms of the Premier League next season and the Champions League. They don't need another centre-back. And if they do, it's not Chris Smalling. So if you don't want him, get rid. So, you know, I mean, get rid of him.
Yeah, that philosophy, though, worked very well. And it still is working very well for Man City, Ross. I mean, they've had that since Guardiola's coming. They want a defender. They'll pay a certain price, go to a certain value. If they don't want it, if it's higher than their estimate, they move on.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, it worked for them, I think, really well for the last 3-4 years.
Yeah, and I honestly think the likelihood of what's going on here is that Smalling is going to Roma. He's not coming back to United, but I think what we're hearing here is Man United playing a little bit of hardball, calling Roma's bluff and saying, well, if you don't pay this value that we put on him, what he's actually worth as well, we'll have him back. We'll have him back, and we'll put that out in the media. We'll make it known. And then Chris Smalling's going to have to start digging his heels in a bit because he don't want to come back. We all know that.
No, exactly.
So I just think it's just a first sign that we're not fucking about anymore. We're not going to have our pants pulled down. He will go to Roma, 100%. But we're not just going to say, that'd do. That'd do. You know, you don't go into a shop to buy a TV for £1,000 and offer 600 quid and expect to get away with it. You ain't having it. You know, the shop's never going to go, that'd do. They'll say, no, we'd rather have it sit in our store.
Let's
get dusty. Yo. Yeah, madness.
I do know what, honestly, I do get it. I just think that United have got, I think they've got more important things to worry about than whether or not they can get the best deal for Smalling. Ollie's made it very clear he's not part of his plans. He's not part of his plans. Same with Alexis Sanchez. Yeah, same. You know what I mean? Cut your those dealings from Ollie's point of view as a manager. He can hold his head up high and say those deals have got nothing to do with me. They are the cock up of Ed Woodward. That's his doing. So as far as I'm concerned as the manager, they're not in my in the ballpark to get us in my squad. Get rid. If it's down to a Woodward and he's clinging on, then the issue is with him. But in terms of the dealings of you playing hardball to sell rubbish that you don't want, you keep using the phrase, but then the talent that you want, you don't want to meet the value. I can't work it out.
We will meet the valuation for Sancho.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. If you sell the players that you don't want, then at least you've got cash coming in to say, right, we can actually go to the table. You know, what you've got right now is a cat and mouse game being played out in the newspapers and online. And Manchester City have just gone, we've got 2 players. What are you not doing? You know what I mean? You're still going to do that little tango for the next 3 or 4 weeks until it gets to, transfer deadline day. And not good.
I think we've got to give Ollie some mad props, though, because he's been in this job for it's coming up to 2 years, 18 months?
Years. Yeah, 2 years.
In 2 years.
December.
This guy's it's just for me. Say we lost every game next season and he got sacked within 6 weeks. He will always be known as the only manager with the balls to get rid of Sancho, Smalling, not Sancho, Sanchez. Smalling, Jones, Ashley Young. All of the deadwood that we've carried around from manager to manager, Ollie's come in and he's got rid of it. And I think this is the reason now we have this young, hungry team. And Ollie's brought that through because 2 years ago, 18 months ago, this was just an aging team full of deadwood. Mark, why no fag on the go, Marcus?
It's coming. Do you know what? I was in my own fucking world then.
No, I could see him looking. I could see him looking around, and I was thinking, he's just.
I'm sitting here, right? Listen to you two. Mum's playing Call of Duty, and I'm watching her get killed here, and I'm thinking I wouldn't have done that. So yeah, Mag's coming.
Fellaini as well, man.
I was going to say Fellaini, and you could have said Januzaj, but he was gone before then. I mean, to be honest, we say Deadwood. Lukaku was bought in. I still doubt very much that Jose wanted Lukaku. I think that deal was done before he even arrived. I think that was a Woodward purchase as well. You know, really strange. But yeah, Ashley Young, all of those players, the Deadwood, he will be regarded as doing a very good job. I still think, and this is from what I said on Friday, that United missed the trick in terms of the FA Cup. And I took a lot of heat on Twitter, you know, because everyone said, oh, it's about the Champions League, it's about this. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, but you can have both. You can actually have a trophy and get the Champions League. You can have both.
Well, I've got a question for you off the back of that then, Rodders.
Yeah.
What and this is you, Marcus, as well. What are you doing for the Europa League now? Are you going out to win that?
Yeah.
Do you know what? Right, how many games have they got left in that tournament? How many games?
Well, it's like 4 or 5, I think.
4 or 5, yeah.
Maybe less.
You know, to be honest, you have to go and win it. This is what the conversation I talked about the FA Cup. You get a trophy. And people were like, oh, no, we need the Champions League. And I'm thinking, now you're pinning your hopes on getting the Europa League. Roma's still in it. Sevilla's still in it. Inter Milan's still in it. There are other little bits and bob teams that you're going to hope. But in a competition, because this competition is being played at a time of the year where everyone is fatigued now. It doesn't matter if they've been away for it. They're fatigued. Everyone's fatigued. You're going to get errors. You're going to get injury. We saw that in the FA Cup when players haven't had the proper rest that they should have had. If he wants to go for it, go for it. But you know, when he said that, you said about like Ollie being, you know, when if he gets sacked, he'd be looked at. He's done a really good job. I kind of think, does he actually? Does he really get a good job? Has he? 2 years and no trophy. If he'd have won the FA Cup, he'd have been all right.
Marcus?
Are you getting a blowy there?
No. No, get off. No.
It's a good thing I haven't got my glasses on.
I think he, except for the first game in Europa League, because we're already 5-0 up.
Yeah, that's a dead
I would be disappointed if it's not, from then on, if it's not a full strength side. I think these lads, they've had a week rest, just over a week rest already. I think they'll be ready to go. I can't see any problems unless we get to the semi-final. Possibly, what is it? It's right. Is it Roma quarters or is it semis? Possibly. And then it's Inter, isn't it, in semis, or is it final?
I'm not sure, but we're going to meet some tough teams on the way, aren't we?
Yeah, but I think the squad is good enough to win it. I certainly think it's a better squad at this stage than what it was when Mourinho won it.
Yep.
I'd be disappointed if we didn't go for it. I mean, it would only be the second time we've won it.
Yes.
He had a chance to win the FA Cup, changed it, tinkered with it, maybe a bit too much, and in like tactics wise, and
Yeah.
it didn't pull off.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'd go for this. I really would. I would like to see United win a trophy. This I got quite not pissed off, but I was quite upset that a few people diminished the FA Cup and prioritised the top four over it. And I can see the argument for it. Everyone wants Champions League football. Everyone wants the Champions League scene back at Old Trafford under the lights. I get that, but there were days, like I said to you, Rodney, on Twitter, players used to come to United to win trophies.
Yeah, to win trophies.
And now it seems like players are more interested in just playing for clubs that are winning top four, that are in the Champions League. And I think
That's, yeah, I don't know. Ross, what do you think of that? Because I've said a lot on that.
I'll tell you my thoughts just after this. Marcus, you love a semi, don't you?
I'm just going to put that up.
And Max said we actually signed Lukaku in Josie's second season, which is quite interesting. Listen, I think I agree with exactly what Marcus said I think if we wanted to win this competition, we'd 100% go in as favourites, and I think rightly so. I have a feeling of what Ollie's going to do, and I 100% agree with it, and you're not going to like it, but I think that the Agalos, I wouldn't play a B team, but I would play a lot of the players that haven't played a lot of minutes. I'd probably give Mata the whole tournament. I'd give Agalo the whole tournament, because I'm very concerned that our team looked absolutely on its fucking knees after about 9 games this season. So a week break will be enough for them to go and win the Europa League, but I'd be so concerned that this current team that we have would go into next season on its arse. And if we started next season with a couple of draws and then a defeat, all of a sudden the pressure's on Ollie. Winning the Europa League is not going to save Ollie's job, but if he starts the next season shit, he's going to have a problem. So I think his main focus for him and this team has to be the start of next season. That's disappointing. I'm with you, Marcus and Rodney. I want to see us lifting trophies. That's probably one of the best moments of the last 5-6 years was watching Pogba, Bailly and Jose lifting the Europa League title. I just don't think it's worth scuffing because just the way this season's working out with timings and dates, I just don't think it's worth scuffing the start of next season for a title that it would have given us Champions League football. It could have been hugely important to us, but it's not really that important now. We can win it next. Well, no, we can win the FA Cup. I don't know. That's my thoughts.
But see, that's what you're saying there, though, Rodney, because Matic near enough said the same thing yesterday. They want to start off next season, challenging for the title right from day one. Whether it happens or it materialises or not is a different thing. But the attitude and the perspective of what he's focusing on is exactly the same as what Ross is saying there. They've got to start quickly next season.
And Brothers, you've been calling for Agalo to play more minutes. I don't see why we can't. I don't see why we can't play the whole tour. He could just say, Agalo, this is your tournament, man.
He's been on like a jolly at Vegas. He's like, I don't want to go back to China. He's loving it at United. Honestly, he's doing all of the smart things that Lingard isn't doing. He's keeping his mouth shut. He's sending that positive tweets and little messages on social media, and everyone loves him. When we talked about this is why I got a little bee in my bonnet about the FA Cup, right? Lifting a trophy, you've only got to look at what Arsenal are doing. Yeah, they're happy as Larry lifting the FA Cup. They are so buzzing. Do you know what I mean? The fact that they beat Chelsea. United could have beaten both of those teams at the weekend. That is a trophy. And what makes it worse, when you looked at the final, 2 new managers, right? They've been in the job less than a year. Both of them. So one of them was going to walk away. Arteta has got an FA Cup winners medal as a manager. It'll be 2 years in December for Ollie. And I'm telling you, when you look back and you think, where did I go? Why was my name not on the trophy as a manager? Because you can't be at United for 2 years and not win something. Do you know what I mean? As players, you can get away with it. As a manager, people start to look at you. The FA Cup semi-final against Chelsea was the best chance. And with what we're doing now, We were pinning all of our hopes on Europa League. And Ross, you said it. Start of the season, a bad result. I'll go a little bit further. Say they don't have bad results. Say they have really good results, right? And they have good results in September and October. But because they've played football so late in the year, they burn out come late November, December. That will be a problem, because when the fixtures start to pile up and the FA Cup comes back round again, they're going to be like thinking, we haven't got the squad. So, and this is why I said at the beginning, if you've got players you don't want, get rid. Get rid, because you're not going to use them.
You have to recruit well, though, as well, because they're very different point. And Ollie said this in a press conference, and I'm glad he's thinking this way, is that Europa League, although it's Sunday, Thursday, you can kind of get away with it because you're playing a B team majority of the time in the Europa League. That's how it goes. With the Champions League, all right, it's Saturday, Wednesday. You're playing the same players, near enough. Few changes. This squad needs to be ready to go, and that's not the starting 11. That's 18 players. We need 18 quality players in this team. So the recruitment this season, this is what's pissed me off with Man United ever since even the last 5 years of Fergie, if I'm being honest, is that we only recruit when we fucking really need it. When you can see a gaping hole in the starting 11, we go, we need an attacking midfielder. They'll go out and buy it. But no, let's buy another fucking Bruno Fernandes, for fuck's sake. Why wait till the guy's injured and then go, shit, we haven't got no one else? Like, because that's just what we do. Like, we wait for something to happen. But no, people, like you said, mate, City, 2 players. Did they fucking need Nathan Ake? Did they fuck? Do you know what I mean?
No, the thing is, they needed Nathan Ake because they binned John Stones. They've said to Stones, you're gone. They've played a season and a half with a central midfielder in their 30s in the centre of defence, and they've got away with it. Really, a team like that should have got punished a lot more. But because they're City, they play really good football. Nathan Ake, for me, is a good player. But what will Pep do? Pep will make him a better player. Pep will make him a better player. And I doubt very much that they're not going to sit back and go, oh, we don't need anyone else. They're going to go and get someone that probably no one's even looking at and bring them in, because they've lost Leroy Sané. So they're going to think, you know what, as much as we brought one in on that side, we need another one on this side as well. That's what they do. And I think United, as much as I say, you know, we don't want to get bent over and smacked on the arse because of evaluation on certain players. If you don't want them, get rid of them. You know what I mean? Just say, off you go. We need the money. We'll take the salary that we're paying you, and we're going to bring in someone else. Instead of this kind of song and dance about, oh, we don't want to be outdone, but at the same time, you want to go shopping in Harrods and then turn up with your Poundland budget and go, can I get it on tick? You know, the valuation is 100 million, but you're only offering 60. And you want to then put it in, oh, come on. Man United, if you're going to do that, then do it, but don't make it a prolonged process. Get rid of the players that you want. And then you can start focusing on some of the things that United need to do, and that's winning the trophies.
I don't know what you boys think, right? But how the fuck, like, I don't actually know how transfers get worked out, because at some point, right? I mean, we haven't got a bad relationship with Dortmund, for fuck's sake. At some point, doesn't Ed Woodward just call up the director of football at Dortmund and go, we want Sancho, you know he wants to come, let's hash it out now. None of this, oh, well, we'll give you 60 million. And then they go, well, no. Like, what? How do you see, Marcus? Do you know how they fucking do a transfer? I have no idea, mate.
I think it's all about saving as much money as you can, isn't it?
Are they sending fucking letters via, like, owls and shit? Like, it's
fax machine, mate. Fax machine.
Fax machine. In the same room.
I would probably say that article about United not paying no more than 50 million. Ed has probably thought, okay, we'll go 10 million above, 20 million add-ons, because I've never heard of a player coming for half the price and then half in add-ons. That's ridiculous to me.
Yes, man.
And this is why I think United will wait on it. I really do. I think Ed is such a tight ass with money. We've seen how long the saga with Bruno went on for.
Yeah, but he still paid more.
6 months too long.
But like Ross just said there, too long. And I think it'll be the same with Sancho. They know he wants to come, right? United know there's a valuation on him. they'll wait until next year. I wouldn't put it
Do you know
past them to
what?
wait.
You know what? You're saying exactly the same thing I didn't want to hear, because they've got the same operating way, and you've got to look at what happened to Liverpool, who then saw Timo Werner go to Chelsea. Liverpool have got cash. There's no way Liverpool haven't got money. They just won the league.
No, they've won Champions League, Premier League, right? And
They've got cash.
they've got money. They've got money. But with Ed, it's a different situation because it's all about the budget, right? And unless the Glazers don't want it to come out of their actual own pockets, right? So they'll use whatever's floating, whatever's available that's been made via club, and you take everything into account. There's no one in the grounds. There's no tickets being sold, right? All they've got is the revenue money from the TVs and kit sales, Adidas sponsorship deal. I don't see them, right? I reckon if they said to Ollie, look, we're going to wait till next year. Your main priority is get us back into the Champions League next season, right? And then we'll nab him half price, not a problem. But we ain't paying 100 million for him.
Do you know, honestly, do you know what you're saying, Marcus, makes absolute sense. I get it.
It's common sense, isn't it? It's the business sense.
I do, but that's the kind of business sense you have when you're the only person in the market looking for a bright young talent. And you've only got to look at Man City and just imagine they change their mind and say we want him back, or Liverpool say, you know what, we're going to have some of that, or Chelsea turn around and go, you know what, we're going to have some of that as well, because we just lost the final, so we need to show intent as what we're going to do next season. Or there are teams out there that have got the money. Man United, as much as he says he wants to leave, if Dortmund accepts the fee from another club, then that changes the dynamic. The minute Dortmund say we've accepted the fee, then as a player, he's obliged to go and meet with the team. And if Man United keep divvying us to, we want him, but we don't want to pay this much amount of money, and we want to do all of this. I'm not saying they should go over the line, but I just think they should actually have a business, like you say, sort something out instead of doing this kind of in the newspapers.
This thing, though, boys, right? This isn't just a thing that's just occurred out of thin air now. We've seen this, right, for many, many years since Sir Alex retired. Bruno had the 60, 65 million price tag. They got it down to 52, 53, right, with the rest in add-ons, right? How fucking long were they haggling over 5, 10 million for Perisic, right?
Yeah.
They didn't want to go the extra. They said no.
Yeah.
Didn't want to go without him. Do your best. Get us into Europa League. Win us a trophy if you can. It's fine, right?
Yeah.
Because then we'll nab him whenever. And I think it'll be the same thing here. He's a good player, no doubt about it. It's the English tax on it that's the problem. If he was foreign, right? If he was your 50, 60 million, would get him. I think.
Yeah.
I disagree with that, Marcus. Sorry to but what I say is Dembele, who they sold for about 140 million pounds. Dortmund are a selling club, but they ain't mugs either. They'll only sell at the right price because they know when a player like Sancho, from their point of view, they're looking at him going, he's only going to go up in value. He's only going to get better. He's so young. He'll just get better. He'll stat pad next season. And then it's 2 seasons of great stat padding. That's consistency. That's worth another £20 million now. They know what they're doing. They're not stupid. United, I think, will end up pushing the financial button and paying for him this season. But like you said, they're going to wait until the fucking last minute to do it. Because they're going to think that they can get an extra 5 million off, an extra 10 million off. They'll probably speak to the agent, tell the player to put pressure on the club to... It's just a fucking drama that doesn't need to fucking... Just pick the phone up, man.
Red said it, right? Red said it just now.
Yeah.
It's a player that we need now, right?
Yeah.
And but the point is that from a business sense, you got 100 million plus for this kid at 20 years old, right? You look at Leon Bailey, possibly available. Koeman, available. Traore, available for the right price. These are players that would cost half the price of that, right? And if Ed says, well, listen, for that price, for that 100 million plus, we can get 2 of them by the end of next season.
Yeah.
It's a business sense.
Listen.
If buy one, get one free, isn't it, really?
I totally understand. I understand it. I can see why they do it, but you know, it's they probably make more money from the rumors and the links.
I totally agree with that.
I just think we make more money by just saying his name. We don't have to actually. If we don't get him, you know, that'll pay for the transfer next year. We just wait.
I like Akil's comment here, and it's really true that the prices were supposed to go down after COVID.
Let's just get that
like, that just doesn't. It's so true. Ake £40 million.
Yeah,
is it's about the going rate, really.
But that is what you would expect for a player. I mean, to be honest, you would even say they might have paid 10 million more than they needed to because he was part of a team that got relegated.
Yeah, true. And then Grealish, I know they didn't get relegated, so they're looking at £80 million. Like that's madness, but it's a going rate.
One of the worst things is that staying in the Premier League now, in terms of Grealish, staying in the Premier League has so much benefits for clubs like Aston Villa, right? In terms of money, they do not need to sell.
They don't need to sell now.
No, and it goes. I think it goes all the way around the world, man. People can say Dortmund need money, mate. If they don't want to sell, they don't want to sell.
They basically put a fee on Grealish's head, which is the cost of them going down, because that's what they basically do by selling him. They sell him. They're not staying up again. So £80 million is probably enough to offset them going down again. So that's the price they put. Yeah, so it's mad because the value of a player is it's not what they're worth in market sense. It's what they're worth to the club that they're currently playing for.
Yeah. You know what? So, go on.
I was going to say, a question for you two, right? You got 100 million for Sancho, right? I watched that FA Cup final yesterday. Yeah. You know what I'm going to say, right?
I know where you're going. Go on.
Would you go in for Aubameyang? Come on. A boom goal scorer, right? 31 years old. He still ticks the box and he can fucking score out of nothing. He's guaranteeing you goals. Would you go for him?
Would I go and steal him from Arsenal and upset the apple cart? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Do you know what? United don't have a goal scorer that's getting close to 20 league goals a season. 20. If you get 20 league goals a season, you're in top 2 for the Premier League.
You stick him through the middle, big boy, right? You stick Rashford right, you stick Martial left.
That laughing. Stick him through the middle.
Million. Problem solved. I think that guarantees you a title, Charles, next season, provided he stays fit. And for that price, it's a gamble I'd take.
I'd buy him 100%. I'd play him up top. And I wouldn't put Martial out wide. I'd say, Martial, there's your competition. Think you're better than him? Prove it. Both of them. Have them both fighting for that top spot, because that's what we used to have 4 strikers for 2 spots. So I don't think 2 strikers for 1 spot, 2 quality strikers. That's getting towards Champions League winning squad. I'm not saying you get Aubameyang, you're going to win the Champions League, but you need 2 world-class strikers to get you there. And we don't have that at the minute. And every position we have an all right player and then just a youth player. So, mate, I'd 100%. Can you imagine the mess that would cause Arsenal fans? They'd just have to delete their club.
Do you think they're winning that FA Cup keeps him? Because I don't
not at all. Not at all.
I think he's been spoken to anyway. I think he's got offers already. What I noticed about his style of play, because he does play in a similar position on the left. What he does for a player of his age is that he runs beyond the back 4 without the ball. And Martial does not want to do any of that at all. Not in his game. That is an alien thing for Martial. I don't think he'll ever do it. And he's 23, 24, never do it. Aubameyang's been doing that his whole career. And he showed that he can destroy defences. If the ball is right, he's gone. And then once he gets in front, that's it. He's putting it away. And yeah, Arsenal deserve the win, and they've got an actual proper goal scorer in that team. But as for your question, Ross, would I go and take him? Hell yeah. Cool.
Marcus.
I'd go and drop off. I'd drop off Sanchez.
Well, if you think about it, if you think about it like a fucking like a fantasy, I mean, he's playing with fuck me, what, Guendouzi and Xhaka? I mean, what sort of service is that guy been getting? Fuck's sake. Half of his assists come through the goalkeeper. Imagine with Fernandes, Pogba feeding this man. We won't get him. No, we 100% won't.
We should put the rumor out though, just for the hell of it. Yeah, just tweet it out there.
Change the title of the video.
I can do it afterwards. God,
yeah, it's madness.
You know what? You mentioned goalkeeper that Marcus. You mentioned before we started. Schmeichel. What's that about? Kasper Schmeichel.
Just something that was picked up on Sky Sports today. Apparently, United were looking at Kasper Schmeichel as number one next season. It still doesn't solve the problem of Dean Henderson's situation for me.
I'm telling you.
I tell you what happens, mate. You sign Kasper Schmeichel, and then you have the headache of who's number one, Dean Henderson or De Gea. And then you just left with Kasper Schmeichel. I honestly think whoever put that article out was just well, no, but I think whoever put that out was just like, shit, I haven't put a United article out in a while. Who can I make up?
It's Ed Woodward's nephew or something like that on a Twitter feed. No way. I looked at it and I thought, honestly, that has got to be the funniest rumor I've read. It has to be.
Do you reckon it's just some div that's gone, hey, Schmeichel's dad used to play for United?
Son on Sunday, yeah. Who's it? Oh, no, I can't do that.
It's just some div, isn't it, in an office that's gone, didn't Schmeichel's dad play for United? Yeah. Fuck it. Let's link him.
It's like a Winter Soldier spin-off that's gone wrong. We're just going to clone kids. They've got the superhuman gene. We'll get Schmeichel. We'll get Andy Cole's son. Jordi Cruyff played there. He's got kids.
What about George Weah's brother? We should sign him as well.
George Weah, yeah. Who else? We got Ronaldo's son will probably be old enough in about 2 weeks' time. Phil Jones's twins, they'll be playing left back, right back.
Madness.
Beatrice says,
this is so true. Read it out.
This is Ross. You are saying words like "fuck me" and "fantasy" with your hands behind your head. You are defecating them.
Do you know what? It's just so comfortable. Yo, Akil says signing a CDM is really important. Even if Matches continues to perform well, we won't get any more than 30 matches from him, and that's not enough, especially since we're in the Champions League. Do we even have a Matic replacement in our ranks right now?
McTominay.
That's it. McTominay.
Right.
Yeah. You know what?
I think we need a CDM, boys.
Now,
he said that with his hands behind his head.
I think it was Jay Hart who mentioned that Tobias, Arsenal, to you, Rodney, I think, the other night.
Yes.
Yeah? What do you think?
For me, I don't know enough about him. In terms of CDMs, I would probably have said, it's really interesting that the whole, I can't pronounce his name, Højbjerg, that was at Southampton. He's one of he's looks like he's on his way out. Apparently, he's fluttering his eyelashes at Spurs. He's a decent individual. There's Ndidi at Leicester. I mean, there are individuals out there that can do a decent job. What Matic has shown, I mean, what we've seen, but what he's shown Ollie is that when he gets the ball, he always looks forward and he's always in the right position. He's not the quickest anymore, but he's quicker than quite a lot. It's very difficult to try and upgrade on someone who's won Premier League titles and Europa League titles and say, he's got that amount of experience. McTominay doesn't have it yet, but in terms of bringing in someone, what will happen next week? They'll say, what's the boy at West Ham? Rice. They'll start saying his name, Declan Rice. So, you know, I think from Man United point of view, they've got all of these young kids coming through the academy. Some they've re-signed, but there's still need for a stronger squad. And we said it, you know, you get to a certain part of the season, will they be able to step in? And if it's not them, you're going to look at the likes of Pereira, and then people will start rolling their eyelashes, Lingard, and then, you know, you just get into a whole different thing. And I don't know. I'm not sure how strong the squad depth really is. And this is even with next season where they're going to still use 5 subs for next season. So if you're using 5, you've got to make sure the 5 are really good. What Ross is doing some strange head movements.
I was fucking trying to headbutt Marcus. I want to tell you, look.
Got him, big boy. Sabaya, take him.
Dedrick said it. Rodney said it. I think if we don't go for I don't know fuck all about this debate. I'd never even heard his name. Sorry, Marcus. Ndidi for me, I just can't believe no club's in for him. I get wowed by him every time I watch him play. Really looks like a Kante in the making, but just like half the age. He's so young still, 23, coming up to 24, I believe. So it's coming up to his prime years. Amazing. I threw a really weird one out when I was live the other night on this YouTube channel, was that Decore from Watford, who's just been relegated. Look, nowhere near the finished article, but I actually think there's a really good player in there. Again, being linked to absolutely no one. I think you could get 2 really good. Like Decore for me is a really good player that won't demand playing 40, 50 games a season. But again, you've got, maybe there would be an oversaturation of centre midfielders. Who is this guy then, Marcus? Do you know much about him?
He's on loan from Madrid, isn't he? At Arsenal.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
What I've seen of him throughout the season, he can get himself about. He's been in and out of the team. He don't mind tackle. He's pretty clean in the way he passes the ball. Bit of a rough, rugged sort of player. You know, I wouldn't say he likes to get stuck in, but he ain't fucking scared of taking it. Like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, well, I only bring it up because what Jay Hart said to Rodney the other day. But I mean, the one for me is Partey, Atletico.
Yeah, interesting.
I think he's destined.
48 million, and that's
I think he's destined for Arsenal, Partey. I think that as much as he's a good player, I think sometimes players set their heart on one particular club when they look at the Premier League, and I think he's been at Valencia for such a long time. His move would be so precise. It wouldn't be just, "I'll be coming from last minute," and he'd want to go. He'd have looked at the club for a long time. He's a good player, but I don't know whether or not he would not fit, but whether he'd want to join United, which is something for some players. If
you're a player like Partey, though, right?
Yeah.
You'd be looking at Arsenal thinking Europa League, mid-table, only playing in Europe because they won the FA Cup. I'm betting on that. Sure.
But there's the project in what could be, and I'm sure Arteta. I mean, I think with Guendouzi, he's done. His time at Arsenal's done. Him and Ozil. Arteta, he looks like a slim version of Action Man that doesn't shave, but I think he's like ruthless. He basically said, "If it's my way or the highway," so I think they're both gone, regardless. Yeah. Guendouzi's only 21. I think he's done like a couple of things that Arteta doesn't like, and he said, "No, you're done. You're toast. I'm going to make space for someone else." And you only got to look at the selection for the FA Cup final. He's nowhere near the squad, nowhere near the 11. And he was a few weeks ago he was playing, and I think it's just literally gone that bad for him. So I think Arsenal would have been looking at the guy Partey and said, "Look, there's going to be a space in a couple of weeks, so don't worry about that." But he is I'd say he would be a good acquisition, but I just can't see him looking at United. Just can't. But that's down to Ollie and making himself, as lovable as every other manager as who he can get. but all the talk of the town at the moment is Sancho. Like Sancho is going to be the cure for everything, and there's a lot more.
I'm glad there's support for Marowak, mate.
Listen, Marwan's got love. People don't understand. He goes, you guys.
Imagine the scenes if we did like what we did with Ricardo and loaned Marwan back for a few months. Like, I honestly think he'd be the most loved player of all time.
I think he would.
Hashtag Marwan back. Imagine doing a reveal like Pogba, I'm back. Fucking hairs out.
He did bang in a hat trick the other day, didn't he, in China?
Yeah.
Well,
3 headers in 8 minutes.
He's like Andre the Giant, isn't he?
Yeah. I'll tell you, when is United playing the next game anyway? That's how poor I am.
Wednesday, I think.
Is it Wednesday? Right. What are we doing? What time is it again? See, I'm so bad. Terrible.
6. So Marcus, are you doing Monday? Are you doing Marcus Monday Madness?
Yeah, I mean, I'll do that, and then I can roll in like a preview of Wednesday if you want.
Beautiful.
If you're busy.
It's 8 o'clock, is it? It's 8 o'clock.
I won't know what I'm doing until near the time because of work, but
yeah,
I'm about Tuesday, so I may do a cheeky show Tuesday. We've got Mad Marcus Monday Madness Mayhem.
That's too many M's.
And I can do Tit Tuesday or something, and then we can do a Wednesday thing. Yeah.
Oh god, I like that one. I'm gonna have to try and do something on Friday. You know, I don't know what I'll call it. I call it Rodney's Fry Up.
Yeah, that's sick. And then just start cooking.
It's so good. What's cooking? What's this? You guys know? What does that say? You guys were definitely
100% Dedrick.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, 100%.
I'm surprised. No one in the.
Diedrich's available tomorrow. Diedrich, you're around tomorrow. Get Diedrich on. If Mark's about as well.
Pulling people in straight away.
I'll get some people on with me.
It's been a good show. I've enjoyed it tonight, and we've got lots coming up.
Yeah, we've got loads. Some good stuff coming up in the new season. I'm gonna have to kind of get a special graphic now. Rodney's Fry Up. I'm gonna have to get a little hat, like chef's hat.
That's it. Yeah.
On the grill.
A couple bits of bacon.
I've got to go quite soon, lads. Clean myself up.
It's so wrong. All right. Oh god. Well, you, Marcus. All right. No, look, this is Ross's roast.
I'll do something tomorrow then at 9.
Beautiful.
And, roll it into preview Wednesday, and then Ross, if you're available Tuesday, Roddy Friday, and
it's madness.
Go from there.
Yeah, it's madness. Right. It's madness. All right, guys. Thanks for joining. Everyone in the chat, we appreciate it. It's a chilled little Sunday gathering, but we make it work because we just talk stuff. Please remember to do what Mark says. Where is it? I loved what he wrote up. He said, if you don't like or subscribe, he'll sort you out. I don't know what that means. Like behind the bike shed. Yeah. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Laters.
Bye.